Have you ever felt that someone was watching you, even though you were completely alone? I used to laugh whenever people talked about haunted objects, ghosts, curses, possessed paintings. To me, they were just stories. Stories meant to scare children, until one painting entered my life and made me question everything I believed. My name is Michael, and what I'm about to tell you is the reason I have never stepped inside an antique shop again. It happened almost 2 years ago. I had recently moved into a small apartment in an old city famous for its antique markets. I worked as an interior designer, so I often visited secondhand stores looking for unique decorations. One rainy Saturday afternoon, I wandered into a tiny antique shop hidden in a narrow alley. The shop was strangely quiet. Dust floated through the sunlight. Old clocks ticked at different times. The air smelled of old wood and forgotten memories. Near the back wall, I noticed a large oil painting covered by a dark cloth. Something about it drew me closer. The shop owner suddenly appeared beside me. He was an elderly man with tired eyes. Before I could touch the cloth, he quietly said, "That one isn't for everyone." I smiled. "What makes it so special?" He hesitated, then answered, "It has a habit of following people home." I laughed, assuming it was a clever sales pitch. Without another word, I pulled away the cloth. The painting showed a young woman standing in a dark forest. She wore a long black dress. Her pale face was turned slightly toward the viewer. But her eyes, they looked painfully real. Not beautiful, not frightening, just alive. I couldn't explain why, but I bought it. The shop owner wrapped it carefully. As I paid, he whispered one final sentence. "If she ever changes, don't look at her after midnight." I laughed again. If only I hadn't. That evening, I hung the painting in my living room. It looked perfect, elegant, mysterious, almost too realistic. My friends loved it. Everyone commented on the woman's eyes. "It feels like she's staring at us." We laughed. By midnight, everyone had gone home. I turned off the lights and went to bed. Around 3 in the morning, I woke up. Not because of a noise, because of a feeling. That strange feeling that someone else was inside the apartment. I checked every room. Nothing. Everything was exactly where I had left it. As I walked past the living room, I froze. The painting looked different. The woman's head was no longer turned sideways. She was looking directly at me. I convinced myself I had remembered it incorrectly. I even laughed at my own fear. The next morning, I took a photograph of the painting before leaving for work, just to prove. Nothing had changed. When I came home, I compared the photo with the painting. My heart nearly stopped. In the photograph, her hands were folded. On the wall, one hand now rested against the tree beside her. From that night on, I photographed the painting every morning. Every evening, something had changed. A smile, a finger, a step closer. Tiny changes, so small that no one else noticed, but I did. And once I noticed, I couldn't stop looking. Sleep became impossible. Every night, I heard soft footsteps crossing my apartment. Slow, measured, always ending outside my bedroom door. When I opened it, silence. No one was there, except the painting, waiting in the darkness. I decided to get rid of it. I carried it back to the antique shop. The building was empty. A nearby shopkeeper looked confused. "That antique shop? It burned down 12 years ago." I stared at him. Impossible. I had been there only a week earlier. He showed me an old newspaper clipping. The owner had died in the fire. Nothing remained. I rushed home. The painting was back on my wall, exactly where it had always been. I know what you're thinking. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe I forgot bringing it back. I wish that were true, because things became much worse. The woman inside the painting was no longer standing among the trees. She was walking toward the front of the image. Every morning, the forest behind her grew smaller. Every evening, she appeared closer, until one night there was almost nothing left between her, and the edge of the canvas. Terrified, I searched old town records. After days of research, I found an article from 1931. A local artist had painted the portrait of his fiancée shortly before she mysteriously disappeared. He claimed she never left him. People mocked him. Weeks later, the artist was found dead in his studio. His final painting had vanished. The portrait became a local legend. The article included a faded black-and-white photograph. It was the same painting hanging in my apartment. That night, I decided to destroy it. I carried it into my backyard. I poured fuel over the canvas. My hands trembled as I struck a match. The flames erupted instantly. For one brief moment, I thought it was over. Then, I heard laughter. Not loud, not violent, just a soft laugh, coming from inside the fire. The flames suddenly died. The canvas remained untouched, perfect, as though it had never burned at all. I stopped sleeping at home. I stayed in hotels, at friends' houses, anywhere but my apartment. Yet every morning, I found one new photograph on my phone, always taken while I slept, always showing me from somewhere inside the picture. No matter where I stayed, I never took those pictures. No one else had access to my phone. But there they were, night after night. Finally, I made one last decision. I locked the painting inside a heavy wooden crate, wrapped it in chains, buried it deep beneath an abandoned storage building my family owned. No one knew where, not even my closest friends. For months, everything returned to normal. No footsteps, no nightmares, no strange photographs. I thought I had finally escaped. Then last winter, I received a package with no return address. Inside was a single framed photograph. It showed the exact storage building where I had buried the painting. The crate was gone. The ground had been dug open. On the back of the photograph, someone had written only 6 words. "She's looking for you again." I don't know who sent it. I never went back. Sometimes, late at night, I wake up with the same feeling I had that first evening. The feeling that someone is standing silently in the corner of the room, watching, waiting. I never look, because I'm afraid that one day I'll find her smiling, without any painting left between us. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe this channel to see more heart-touching story. See you in the next video.